The world has a formula for happiness, and it's failing. Jesus gave us his own, a radical 8-step path to a joy that no one can take from you. This is the secret of the Beatitudes. At the beginning of his public ministry, Jesus went up on a mountain, gathered his disciples, and delivered the most famous and most radical sermon in history. This Sermon on the Mount is the constitution of the kingdom of heaven, the blueprint for the Christian life. And it begins with a series of 8 promises, a revolutionary new formula for happiness. These are the Beatitudes. The world has its own Beatitudes, its own ideas of who is blessed or happy. Blessed are the rich, for they have security. Blessed are the popular, for they are admired. Blessed are the powerful, for they have control. Jesus' Beatitudes turn this worldly wisdom completely on its head. They are a series of beautiful and challenging paradoxes that reveal the secret to a joy that is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in the very life of God. The stakes of understanding the Beatitudes are this: they are the only path to true and lasting happiness. To follow the world's formula is to be condemned to a life of anxiety and dissatisfaction. To embrace the path of the Beatitudes is to embark on the adventure of sainthood and to find a peace and joy that the world cannot give. The first Beatitude is, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." This is the foundation of all the others. To be poor in spirit means to be radically detached from worldly possessions and to have a complete and total dependence on God. It is the virtue of spiritual childhood, the humility that recognizes that we have nothing and that everything we are and have is a pure gift from God. The poor in spirit are free from the anxiety of materialism and the pride of self-sufficiency. Their emptiness of self is what allows them to be filled with the kingdom of God. The second is, "Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted." The world tells us to avoid pain and to seek pleasure. Jesus says that those who mourn are blessed. This refers not only to those who grieve the loss of a loved one, but more profoundly, to those who mourn for their own sins and for the sins of the world. It is the sorrow of a heart that loves God and is pained by everything that offends him. This godly sorrow, this contrition, is what opens the soul to the comfort of God's infinite mercy and forgiveness. The atmosphere of this beatitude is one of quiet, cleansing tears, a sorrow that leads not to despair, but to a profound experience of divine consolation. The third is, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land." Meekness is not weakness, it is strength under control. The meek person is the one who is not ruled by anger or a desire for revenge. They are patient, gentle, and have mastery over their passions. While the world tells us to be aggressive and to assert ourselves, Jesus says that it is the meek, the gentle souls who will ultimately inherit the new heavens and the new earth. The fourth is, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied." This is the beatitude of the passionate heart. It is a burning desire for holiness, for justice, for God's will to be done in our own lives and in the world. This is not a vague, passive wish for things to be better. It is an active, intense longing, like the physical pangs of hunger and thirst. Jesus promises that this deep desire for God and his righteousness will not be disappointed. It will be completely and eternally satisfied in the kingdom of heaven. How does this interior disposition translate into our actions? The next set of Beatitudes focuses on our relationships with others. The fifth is, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." The measure we use for others is the measure that will be used for us. This beatitude is a direct call to practice both the corporal and spiritual works of mercy. It is a call to forgive those who have wronged us, to be compassionate to those who are suffering, and to be generous with our time and our resources. To be merciful is to imitate God himself, who is rich in mercy. The sixth is, "Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God." To be clean of heart, or pure of heart, means to have a heart that is undivided, a will that is ordered to love God above all things. It is the virtue of integrity, where our inner life and our outer life are in harmony. The pure of heart are free from duplicity, lust, and greed. It is this interior purity that allows them to perceive the presence of God in the world, and that prepares them to see Him face to face in heaven. The faint, clean scent of a spring rain washing the world clean. That is a sensory image of the grace of a pure heart. The seventh is, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. A peacemaker is not just someone who avoids conflict. A true peacemaker is someone who actively works to reconcile people with God and with one another. They are bridge builders, healers of division. This work of making peace is a direct participation in the work of Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace. It is what reveals us to be true sons and daughters of God the Father. The final beatitude is a solemn warning and a glorious promise. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Jesus ends by telling us that a life lived according to this radical new charter will inevitably lead to conflict with the world. The world hates the light, and it will persecute those who live in the light. But Jesus calls this persecution a blessing. It is a sign that we are on the right path. It is a way of sharing in His own passion. And He promises that for those who endure this persecution with faith, the reward will be the kingdom of heaven itself. The Beatitudes are not a set of suggestions. They are the portrait of Jesus Christ, and they are the path every Christian is called to walk. They are a ladder to heaven, a challenging but glorious ascent to a life of true, deep, and unshakable joy. For more on the radical and life-changing teachings of Jesus Christ, subscribe to our channel. The path to happiness is not where the world tells you to look. It is on a mountain, in the words of a carpenter from Nazareth.